I don't recognize my country anymore, Alyssa Milano says when she heard that the Klan was going to be rallying in Ohio. Now, I, as a journalist, was tracking this event. I track many events, and I read articles all day, every day. So I saw this tweet from Alyssa Milano. But here's the thing. As with this rally, as with most rallies, we were predicting very, very low turnout. We were trying to figure out if we wanted to contract somebody to go down and cover the event. And there's a lot of things that go into that. Is it newsworthy? Simply because the Klan wants to have a meeting doesn't mean we care about it or anyone should care or bother with it. But if a big counter-protest shows up and it can cause some kind of, shift or make something happen, then it's probably worth checking out just in case. But guess what? Ultimately, we decided no, it wasn't going to be worth it. And we were right. You know why? Well, only 9 people showed up. Yes, the media is lying to you and spinning a web of nonsense about the far right, woo, boogeymen coming to get you. And then Alyssa Milano says, I don't recognize my country anymore. Are you joking? There were way more Klansmen 100 years ago, back when, when you were young, there were way more Klansmen, right? Now, before we dig into all of this story, make sure you go to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There is a monthly donation option, a cryptocurrency option, physical address, but of course, like the video, comment below, because the engagement really helps, or just share it. And that helps, if you don't want to do anything else. So Alyssa Milano says, I don't recognize my country anymore. She goes on to say, my friend Miss Pecchietti just DM'd me. She explained how this has always been this country. I'm horrified. I am angry. I've not only lived a privileged life, but also a bizarrely sheltered one. I've been on a set since I was 7 years old, a diverse set, a set of total inclusion. Seeing racism so brazenly out in the open, and news outlets giving hateful people an effing platform in this time hurts my soul bone-crushing. Who's giving them a platform? You are. It's 9 people. And I knew this. And this is the nightmare of today's state of journalism. This is why I'm really excited for Subverse. So if you haven't already subscribed to Subverse, make sure you do that now. See, we didn't go to cover this because we knew it was going to be nothing, and we don't want to present a platform to nothing and no one. 600 protesters drowned them out. Why? By all means, protest these people. I don't like them. But why were you there? This is what's fascinating. The media presents a narrative of the boogeyman far right coming to get you. Okay? Everybody gets all riled up. But it was fake news. It was just 9 people who showed up. Now, of course, I love the, what is it, the Magic Tiger, God, what is it? On The Simpsons, there was a joke where they paid for the bear patrol because one bear showed up one time. They divert taxpayer funding to a special law enforcement agency to keep bears away. That's what happens. 600 protesters show up for nothing because the media has you convinced there is a greater threat than there really is. No, they're dwindling. Things are getting better. Violence is down. Yes, there are crimes. Yes, there are bad people. Yes, there is racism. But this is just 9 people. It is tiny. 600 people showed up. 600 people who believed something truly crazy was going to happen. I love calling back to that Boston event. If you're not familiar, in Boston, Vash Shiva, an Indian guy, and some other conservatives were holding a free speech event in a little park. 40,000 people showed up because they thought they were coming after the boogeyman. No, you've lost it. Time magazine says plans for a Klan rally in Dayton, Ohio set the city on edge and attracted national attention. But only 9 people showed up for the rally Saturday, and their slogans were drowned out by 500 to 600 protesters who gathered to show their opposition to the hate group's message. Now, the reason I brought up the Simpsons thing is because I hear from a lot of people saying, well, the reason they didn't show up is because of the protesters. And that's kind of like, at the end of the episode of Simpsons, Lisa says their logic about the bear patrol means she could take this magic rock and claim it keeps tigers away. And Homer goes, I'd like to buy this rock from you. The point being, simply because protesters showed up does not mean there was ever going to be a large rally. In fact, if we look at other rallies, there was an alt-right event in Florida last year. 13 people showed up to that one. This is a recurring theme. It's like 20 people, the same people that show up to these rallies. And hundreds of protesters keep showing up claiming they're doing something. No, you're being spun into a web by the media. And here's where it gets really, really good. Do you want it to get really, really good? Because it does. They spent $650,000 in security, personnel, and what, materials? Good Lord. What a massive waste of money. Well, at least I can say this. Stimulates the economy, right? They're going to pay, police officers who are then going to buy stuff. And they're going to pay for, Jersey barriers and fences, which go to contracting companies who can then go and buy stuff. So, hey, good economic stimulus. They estimated the rally cost them $650K. Dayton City Manager Shelley Dickinson tells the Dayton Daily News there's no way to recapture the spent funds, but notes that safety measures were needed because the world has changed greatly. There were no reported clashes or problems at the downtown rally. The city blocked streets with large trucks and brought in officers from other jurisdictions to keep protesters separated from members of an obscure Klan group called the Honorable Sacred Knights. The group obtained a permit for the rally months ago. The group of 9 people. They say the affiliated group was confined to the courthouse square, and the members were separated from the protesters by a fence. In the end, however, the protest remained peaceful and there were no arrests, no citations, and no use of force. We can see all of these big, huge... This is usually how it happens. It's really funny that in the second Charlottesville that happened, 8 months ago or just about close to a year ago, these Antifa people, like these far-left protesters, think they're doing it. They're like, yay, we did it. When quite literally, the people who don't show up say they don't show up because of the press, not because of the protesters, because they wear masks. So the people who did show up in Charlottesville, number 2, were wearing masks. But of course, they dance around acting like their magic rock is keeping tigers away, when in reality, by all estimates, it is a fringe, microscopic fraction of people, and you are being told over and over again by the media, who then play a game of telephone with celebrities, who then come out and say, I don't recognize my country anymore. And where does this go? Look at this thread. So here's the thing. The post from Alyssa Milano was from the 23rd of May, before the event happened. So I don't blame her at all. She probably thought it was going to be a serious thing, especially with the photos The Hill posted. But the media knows they get clicks. They know Alyssa Milano and people like her will share it. She got 12,000 retweets on this, okay? She linked to their story. They probably got a ton of traffic. Very grateful for the outrage, Alyssa. We can see there are some responses to people saying, in all fairness, I haven't seen them out in the open for decades until recently with Trump, and they capitalize rump. But it also depends on where you live. They have crawled out from under every rock. This is not the country that so many died for, sadly. Actually, it is, because, there's a cartoon from Freedom Tunes. You guys know Freedom Tunes? Freedom Tunes is great. And it's the SJW types bring World War II soldiers into the future, and it turns out the political positions held by the soldiers in World War II are worse than the people they claim are the fringe far right today, right? Alyssa Milano says, they're emboldened. And then someone responds, they're evil, I'm ashamed, we're not like this, thank you for saying something. Yes, to the 9 people. Look at this. If this is hilarious. If this is emboldened in the Trump era, wow, 9. This is why, journalism is just dead. I don't blame The Hill for reporting on this. It's just how people have gone insane because of social media. And we are seeing rapid and dramatic polarization. It is what it is. This is why I think, look, maybe we're in a tumultuous period in human history where we need to mature and learn how to use social media properly. But for the time being, everyone's losing their goddamn minds. I'm sitting here reading stories every day, okay, tracking events like this. We had a conversation. I was talking to Emily. I said, do you think we should have anybody on the ground to cover this event? It's not like there's a lot of people reporting on it. And she said, I don't think so. It seems like it's going to be, nothing burger. And she was right. It was quite literally nothing burger. So we just said, don't just ignore it. It's going to be nothing. But it's kind of crazy when you see celebrities and you see people freaking up. Look at this one. Brianna Wu. I grew up in Mississippi. David Duke won many elections when I was a teenager. I saw the Klan march regularly through towns in my state. I saw the Klan march through Old Miss Campus a little over 10 years ago. This is America, and it has been for most of our nation's history. That's true. It has been. You can thank the Democrats for, because they're the ones who formed the Klan anyway. This person responded, I remember when the Klan came to Connecticut. I was a young person. My mom was frightened and kept saying, look away, Alyssa Milano with her broken heart emoji. It's mind-blowing to me. that the people are being whipped up into a frenzy of this invisible threat. And somebody responded to this. Maybe it was in response to PSA Sitch's statement. No, I can't remember who said it, but somebody quoted this story, and they said, "What I've realized from this," and I don't think it wasn't like a overly left or right person. It was someone saying like, or maybe it was on Reddit. They're like, "What you're saying is that the threat of the fringe far right is drummed up by Democrats so that we vote, so that they can accuse the Republicans." Because I got to tell you, man, 9 people, 9, not even 2 digits, not 2. Not even a baker's dozen. You couldn't get 9 people. So please, I don't know if anyone's to blame for this. The media is going to keep reporting on it. They're going to get clicks from it. Alyssa Milano knows that she's going to get retweets when she says this, and it's going to keep happening. Because it was a year ago, a little over a year ago, there was an alt-right event with 13 people. 13. I kid you not, 13. It's going down. The people are going to keep acting like it's getting worse when it's not. But I'll tell you what is crazy. The 600 people who are scared of the boogeyman who are coming out. When you have 40,000 people in Boston, I got to say, that worries me. It does. But anyway, stick around. I got more segments coming up in just a few minutes for everybody, and I will see you soon.